again, everyone. I have a little bit of an unboxing for you today from JetPens. There's only a couple of items in here and they're both fountain pen related. So the package came to me in pretty poor shape. And so this is a Retro 51 fountain pen, and they always come in this, or at least as far as I know, they come in this little, what they call a popper box. And it looks like it got a little bit dented here on the side. So hopefully the pen is fine. I wanted to get another one of these Retro 51 pens before they're unavailable. This company, I think, is kind of going out of business, which was, as far as I know, planned. It's like a retirement. As to whether or not they will come back in some iteration, I don't know. But I'll open this in a second and show you which one I got. It's not a limited edition or anything. It's something that they had regularly at JetPens, and I liked the coloring of it, so that's why I got it. And then the other thing I got, which is probably less exciting to most people, is all of these little rubber rings that go with fountain pens. So I have a fountain pen from TWSBI that is missing a little O-ring. And so I was hoping that I could fit this on there like an O-ring. And then the other reason why I got these and why I have so many is because some pens, to convert them to dropper fill, you need to put a little ring around where the body and the nib unit connect, so that there's an additional barrier in addition to like silicone gel or silicone to make sure that the ink doesn't come out. So that's the reason why I got these and why I got so many, just so that I can kind of have them. And they were so inexpensive that I just got, I think I got like 4 sets, because they come in a set of what, 5, I think. So that way I'll have these available when I need them. So I'll just put them with my fountain pen supplies. And that is it. That was the extent of my order. But yeah, it was funny because this was how I started my order, and because these were so inexpensive, I was like, well, I'm going to fill out my order so I can get free shipping. And then I thought, well, I should get another Retro 51 pen because they're not going to be available forever. So, of course, I open this in the most inefficient way possible. Let's get this wrapping off. Okay, and I think the reason why they call these a popper is because you can kind of pop off this top, and you can use this little bottom as a stand if you want to for the pen. So this is the Lincoln pen, and I believe that they call this the Lincoln because it is sort of the color of a penny, of a Lincoln penny. And part of the reason why I got this is because my husband deals with cash and coin in his job, and I thought this was kind of a nice thing to have around because of that. All right, let me go ahead and open this. I need a pair of scissors here. See, I do have some across the way. Let's go ahead and cut that top off. Get that out. Yeah, it looks like the pen is fine. The other pen that I have by them is the Ciopino, which had the abalone shell exterior. This one was much less expensive than that. This one was around $50, I think. So it's fairly inexpensive, and I thought, you know, I like the coloring. It's actually surprisingly light. I was a little worried that it would be super heavy, but it is not. I will keep the box even though it has a little bit of a dent in it. I have not used the other box as a pen stand like they suggest that you can do, like that, if you just keep it on your desk. This actually does have quite a nice box to use for that purpose, but I generally have not been using them. And in here, in the top of the box, there is a little manual, and there is a cartridge, an ink cartridge in here. But there should be a converter in here, so that's what I plan to use. Let me make sure that that's there. I got this in a medium size. Whew. Sorry about the squeaking. Oh no, it's just more ink cartridges. Okay, well, my plan was to ink this up for you today, but I don't want to do it with a cartridge. Let's see. Oh, that's the converter. Okay, good. I just saw the end of it and I thought it was a cartridge. So these are the little cartridges that came with it in the body, and this is the converter. Yeah, I would have been a little irritated had it not come with a converter. So let's just put the box off to the side. I'm going to open converter out. And these, I have a whole box essentially full of little converters, or cartridges rather, full of ink, and to a certain extent I probably won't use them all, and I wonder, you know, what am I going to do with those, because I generally like to use my own ink. So after looking at the color of this pen, so I was thinking of using either projector film by Birmingham Pen Company or Pelikan 4001 Brilliant Brown. I'm actually thinking that the Brilliant Brown might go a little bit better. The Pelikan ink in this iteration, not the Edelstein ink, which is supposed to be a little bit more wet. This is supposed to be fairly dry. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I do think I'm going to go with the brown because I think that will go better. The projector film, I did a swatching of it on a prior video. If you want to see that, I'll put a link to that down below. I'm getting out my little shop towel that I've been using for a buffer between me and my desk. As you can see, it's been heavily used. I kind of have it like tripled up here. And I've talked about these. These are actually fantastic. These blue shop towels, you can reuse and reuse them, and they really work well. I'm actually going to fold it in the other way so that I can use that, which is a little less inky right now, but you can really reuse them quite a bit. Sorry for the squeaking again. Okay, so let's go ahead and seat the converter. Make sure that's really well in there. It seems a little wobbly, but I don't think it's going to come off. Okay. Oh, that's kind of interesting. The nib seems to be twisting out as I do that. Okay, so let me make sure that actually let me take that out again. And let me make sure that the nib unit is twisted in fairly tightly. Because when you put this in, essentially what you're connecting it to is the nib unit. So try that again. Okay, that actually feels a little more secure, so I think that's probably why. One of the nice things about the Retro 51 pens is because the nib unit does screw out really easily and it's not glued in, you can swap out the nib pretty easily with a different nib. Like the Franklin Christoph nibs that you can get will swap in and out of here very easily. I actually, on my other Retro 51, put in a SIG nib from Franklin Christoph. And this is a size 6 nib, which is one of the most common nibs that you can get out there. And this is the same as a Yowo nib unit. This might actually be made by Yowo. That might be why it's that nib unit. Okay, so let me go ahead and open this ink. I just turned it upside down a little bit. Yeah, and I think that'll go pretty well. I mean, it's a little more red than the color of the pen, but I think it'll still go quite nicely. And actually, let me show you the inside of the bottle of the projector film. So that one's a little bit more green in tone there. So I don't think it would go as well because this metal has a little bit more of a reddish tint to it. All right, so let me put down the piston in the converter, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in here and then do it a couple of times. Out and in again. Yeah, as you can see, the second fill was quite generous, so I think we're good to go. I have my fountain pen testing book off here to the side, so I'll do that in a minute. Let me close this ink back up. And I probably wouldn't want to use that ink if this were a really dry running nib, or if it was a smaller nib unit or a nib size, just because that does have a reputation, that ink does have a reputation for being really dry. Okay, so let me do that, and so this does twist to close. Yeah, it's actually quite a classy pen there. I'm going to take that paper towel up and replace it. Oop, looks like we did get a little drop of ink, but that's okay. This pad is going to get that. Eventually, this pad is going to have a lot of scuffs and ink on it, I'm sure. Let me get the box out of the way here. Okay, and I'm going to find a new page here. There we go. And I will zoom in. Unscrew that, and let's see how well it posts. Oh, it actually posts quite deeply and nicely. It does feel a little bit back heavy, but not uncomfortably so. It's very nice. And this nib is a medium, if I didn't say that already. So this is a retro, oh, that's quite nice. Retro 51. That's actually a really nice combo. I like that a lot. Retro 51 Lincoln. And yeah, I can see what they're saying with the dry ink, but I think that this is a fairly wet running pen. Actually, this nib is quite nice. I probably won't switch this one out. Retro 51 Lincoln with a medium nib. And then we've inked it with Pelikan 4001 Brilliant Brown. That's actually a really beautiful brown. And like I said, it flows quite nicely in this pen. So let's go ahead and do the Quick Brown Fox. Yeah, this ink flows quite nicely. I think that, like I said, I probably wouldn't want to put it in a finer nibbed pen, just because it probably would be fairly dry in a finer pen. But this one, this is, I think, a really perfect combination. I'm going to also do block lettering. Yeah, that brown actually has such a lovely tone. Well, I'm pretty happy with this pen, actually. And I think I feel like it's a little more well put together than the Chiopino was. I think part of the problem with the Chiopino is you have a metal body and then you have a lot of heavy material on top of it with the abalone treatment that they put on there. So this one is a little bit lighter and a little bit easier to handle, and I quite like the brushed copper look here, like a copper penny. Very nice. There you go. Okay, and I will bring this up to the camera even closer so that you can see. There's actually some really nice shading in this particular ink. All right. Well, that's all I had for you today. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you ring the little bell, you'll be notified when I post new ones. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.